Morning, children.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Children, today we'll be revising all the three poems which are there in our syllabus. The points that I sent yesterday for marshlands and the elephant and the Tregopan, I want you to revise it. Meanwhile, I'll be sending the points for Helen Keller also. I want you to learn it and write. Today we'll be writing the summaries, including the poem, name of the poem, poet, the poetic devices, plus the summary, what is being conveyed through these poems. So if you have not written yesterday, please learn and then we'll be writing it. In case of any problem,
Good morning, ma'am.
good morning, Vijay.
Ma'am, what were you saying? Can you repeat?
Yes, Bacha. Today in our online class, we'll be revising all the three poems. Fine. And I think in subsequently in the other classes, maybe not on 21st and 22nd, but after that, whatever class we have, we'll be revising all the chapters. There are how many? We'll be dividing it into two or three and four. But today we'll be revising only the poems. The summaries and the main points that I sent you yesterday, I want you to revise those points and write it in the class now. Please learn it. You can learn one and then you can write it, learn the other and then you can write it. In case of any problem, I'm there. Please ask. Children, if you know these points thoroughly, then you will be able to answer any question that is being asked from these poems. Be it the name of the poet, the poem, the poetic devices, or the summary. Okay, so please revise.
But ma'am, you just discussed Helen Keller yesterday.
Beta, you did not check your official group, the class group.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, I'm resending the summaries, the points that I sent you yesterday. Go through them. So we'll start with marshlands. We'll go backwards. We'll start with marshlands. I sent you some points yesterday in the class group. Wait, I'll send them again.
Ma'am, I got it.
You got it, no? So please, we'll start with marshlands. Okay? I want you to learn it. The summary that I've given. You can keep the answers along with you. So when I'll tell you to write the summary of the poem Marshlands, you're supposed to write the name of the poem.
Good morning, ma'am.
Poet. Good morning, Mudit. The name of the poem, poet, poetic devices, plus the summary of the poem. Whenever you're going through the summary, underline all the important points that needs to be covered. You can change the language. Don't skip those important points.
Ma'am, what are we doing?
I have told you to revise the poem Marshlands, and shortly I'll be sending 2 or 3 questions based on this poem only. If you have revised the poem nicely, then please attempt these questions. Then subsequently, we'll move on to The Elephant and the Tragopan, and lastly, Helen Keller.
Ma'am, we have to also write the summary in our copies.
Just keep it with you wherever you want to. You want to take out a print. That is why I said, please learn and write it. So that you learn it in the class only and you write it somewhere in your notebook. Do it in the fair notebook only. It should not be there in the class group only and then you have forgotten. And when you're revising for your final exams, you don't even remember that ma'am has sent something like this also in the class. I'm sending 2 questions based on this poem in the class group. Once you have thoroughly revised the summary, write the summary first, or maybe the main points, and then attempt these 2 questions. Once you have done, then we'll move on to The Elephant and the Tragopan. I'll be sharing the answers for these questions that I'm posting by evening, not in the class right now. First, you have to find out the answer, write the answer. Then by evening, I'll send you the answers. Please cross-check. It is not necessary that the answers that I'll be sending, they should match with the answers that you have written. But main points should be the same. It should be similar. Not exactly same, but on the same lines, okay? Children, I'm sharing questions based on the other two poems also. So whenever you revise these poems thoroughly, please attempt these questions as well.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of wheeled spirit?
Which word, Iram?
Twilight is compared to a wheeled spirit covering the marshes.
Where are you reading it from? I am not able to hear your word.
Ma'am, from the summary of marshland, the twilight compared to a wheeled spirit covering the marshes.
Veiled,
Huge
veiled,
cranes fly.
veiled. Veiled means which is covered, ghungat. Veil is a ghungat, no?
Okay, ma'am.
Children, in case you have attempted questions of marshland, you can tell me that, ma'am, please, we have done, let's discuss. We can do that also. So we can discuss it in the class only so that you get an idea if you have not written what to write and how to write.
Ma'am, what are the imageries used in the poem Marshlands?
There are so many pictures that the poet has created. See, even where the lights are being described, the golden lights, the sky, the meeting of the brim with the rim, then the flying of the lazy cranes, how the goose are looking for the shelter. All these are images where we, while we are reading through the lines of the poem, we can imagine that picture. So the main poetic device which is used in marshland is imagery only. So you can pick up any two or three lines and you can explain.
Okay, ma'am.
For example, a thin wet sky that yellows at the rim. It's an example of and meets with the sun lost lip, the marshes brim. Children, whenever you are quoting the line, you are asked to give the examples. You're supposed to quote the lines. So please learn the lines as they are written in the book. You cannot change the lines.
Ma'am, I think we should discuss answers right now.
For which poem?
I am just completing the last question.
No, that is fine, Vansh. But which poem are you attempting?
The marshlands.
Okay. So once we are done, you people have written the answers for marshlands. Let's discuss the answers for marshlands first. Okay, Chitransh, will you try to answer the first question? How does the poet describe the end of day and the beginning of night?
At the start, the sky and the marsh had a contrast of yellowness, and in the last, the whole set comes to silence and settles into what to say.
Okay. Anybody else who wants to add to this?
Ma'am, may I?
Yes, Vansh.
Ma'am, the poet described the end of the day as the time when the horizon glows yellow as the sun sets and pools of water in the marsh shine like golden cups in the setting sun. He described the beginning of the night as the time when twilight covers it, huge cranes flying in the night sky, and the twilight fading into night.
Good, Vansh. Yes, that is actually the answer where you have to describe the flight of the birds as well and how does the marshlands look like. So if you want to write I'll be sending it in the, should I send it in the group? The answers?
No, ma'am, I have written it all.
No, it's fine, Vansh, if you have written. The others, they can just see what point they have missed. I'm sending it
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
class group. Children, for the second answer, you can write any of the poem lines which are given in the poem, like you can underline these lines. A thin wet sky that yellows at the rim and meets with the sun lost slip the marsh's brim. Whenever you're giving the lines for imagery, please explain also. In 1 to 2 lines, explain the line that you're quoting. Then the second is the pools low lying, dank with moss and mold, glint through their mildews like large cups of gold. This is another example. Then the
Ma'am,
wild,
may I tell?
yes, Dev.
Ma'am, twilight is compared to veiled spirit covering the marshes. Ma'am, in this personification and visual imagery is used. The comparison of twilight to a veiled spirit gives it a ghostly, mysterious presence.
Yes, that's also an example. So like this, you have to give the examples for this. Should we discuss the other answers as well? Okay, let's discuss for the elephant and the tragopan. Your first question is, what grievance does the elephant have against man? Grievance means complaint. Very simple question.
Mm, Ma'am, the elephant is upset from with humans because they exploit nature of their own benefit without
Fine.
considering the harm they cause to other living beings.
Yes. Here you have to summarize. You have to pick up the points which are being described in the poem to explain the selfish nature of the human beings. It is not an opinionated question where you will be giving your opinion. Opinionated question is the second one. How can we change our anthropocentric mindset to a biocentric mindset? Anthropocentric is where our entire thinking, our plan of actions, everything goes around placing humans at the center. That every benefit, the humans should not get any problem or a difficulty. That is anthropocentric mindset. Biocentric means the due is given to all the living beings. We all have to, whatever planning is done, whatever measures are taken to protect the environment, it is taken keeping in mind all the living beings. That is biocentric mindset. So here you have to explain how can we change. Now this is an opinionated question. Here you have to mention your opinion by giving an example that okay, we can do this, we should not do this with the help of examples. But when we are writing about what grievance does the elephant have against man, whatever answer you are writing, please quote some of the examples which are mentioned in the poem only. For example, the elephant apparently has come to know of man's irresponsible plan in the name of some development which would have adverse effects on the life of the animals and the environment. And that was the construction of, okay, that was the
The
construction of
dam.
the reservoirs. So the elephant draws the attention of everyone around and warns them about man's plan, uh, where they would all become homeless or be killed. The elephant feels, despite all the fuss man makes about the animals by worshipping them or singing their praises, he has never truly cared for them. He has already decided to destroy the habitat of animals by encroaching into their territory by building roads and reservoirs in their homes. The elephant feels by doing so, man has overlooked the fact that it is a death call for him too. So, see, here the entire complaints of the elephant have been discussed, but with reference to the poem. All the important points which were covered, they are all being described in this answer. So, children, whenever you write something in reference to the poem, please pick out the points from the poem only to justify your answer. Is the answer clear? Or should I send it in the class group?
Mom, please send it.
Okay, wait.